From the Multifamily Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona, with Patrick and Carrie Antrim. Live today in Multifamily.
Fun.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for being with us another week of the Today in Multifamily Show.
That's
so
right.
Thanks for joining us wherever you are. We have some great guests showing up already on our platform.
We do. Let's give some shout outs here. We've got Jamin in the house.
Yeah, that's our number one, second year in a row. Number one ranking company nationally for best places to work. So we've got him live. Thank you for getting the alerts. You can do that on depending on where you're watching. We're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, on Multifamily Biz, which is the largest media site, serving some north of 1.7, 1.8 million monthly viewers. So we're live pretty much everywhere. We want to bring the content to you. Yeah. And feature your great stories. So a couple of hashtags. What is it? Multifamily Live?
Yeah, hashtag Multifamily Live. Feel free to share us. You know, you can, for those of you who might be watching us on the replay, hashtag replay.
Yeah, that's right.
Continue
hashtag
to ask
replay.
your questions.
And that's in the comments. So we're getting some comments here saying hello, Jamin, yes.
We also have Mike B from ATL in the house.
I think I know who that is.
I think I know who that Mike B is. Hey, Mike.
Good things happening. Good people on. So thank you for being with us today. We've got a great show ahead.
Yep.
Fun stuff happening in the studio.
Yes.
Continually to expand.
Yep.
Brought on Tyler. We've got Jeff here producing. Tyler's stepping in, doing some new creative things for us. And one of those things is we launched a new series for our multifamily studios. It's called Property Tours. And we went out. Actually, we're looking at expanding our own studio. So we thought, well, let's create a series.
Might as well film it, yeah.
And we've been going, we went to like One East Camelback, Pebble Creek, was it?
The villages at Pebble Creek.
We've got some lease ups, some new construction, new developments. And so there's a big part of the industry that doesn't get to experience some of these things. Yeah. So we're going to bring that to you. So we're excited about that. If you've got a show request, a great guest that you want to have on the show, definitely, if you go to live.multifamilystudios.com, you can, at the bottom of the page, you can submit to be on the show, perhaps even sponsor the show, get involved, and that's a great way to do that.
You can also share your good news that way. We love to shout out what you guys are doing, and so if you want to let us know what's going on, who's being promoted, what awards you're winning, what outreach you're doing, go to that live.multifamilystudios.com. Like Patrick said at the bottom, it says submit news.
That's right. And we have,
pretty straightforward.
2 things we're showing today.
Yeah, we've gotten some good news this week.
We've got some value we're going to bring around the traditional advertising model, how that's going to change for your business. So stick around for that. That'll be coming up here just shortly.
Yeah.
So in the know, what do people need to know? This is the week of multifamily. What's going on?
Well, let's see. We've got, obviously, the Women's Summit coming up in less than a month. We're
almost sold out.
We're almost sold out. I mean, we have tripled our attendance from last year. We have the 25 best places to work in multifamily companies that are going to be recognized for being that for women.
Correct.
They're going to find out how they rank at this summit. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
Just things are on fire.
That's right. And as we mentioned earlier, giving shout outs to Jamin, going through the research, we have the official Best Places to Work multifamily program is now open.
It's open!
It's open. So
Yay.
You can actually register now for the upcoming program. I do want to talk a little bit about the value of this program, how it's different from any other program you might participate in, and the importance it might mean to not only your investors, shareholders, employees, and the people that you work with, but obviously registration is open. There's a reason why we do it this time of the year. So if you notice, we just shouted out Jamin, or Jamin, I'm sorry.
Jamin, I know.
He's jamming in the comments, but it's Jamin. And so obviously making the list is one thing. Staying on the list is another. Obviously that's a company that's showing some great strength, great marketing initiatives, and they're doing some creative things that they're doing to build an organization. And they have a full 2-page spread in their magazine, in our magazine, that kind of highlights what they're doing well. So if you're watching this and you want to know how to create a compelling organization, a healthy organization, one that's innovating and bringing technologies into the business and making things better for not only the employees but all involved, residents and shareholders, go check out their profile and see what they're doing, because they've got some pretty awesome stuff. Beyond that, the reason why we start the program now in March, coming up in March, is because it's a robust program. It's not just sort of a stress test and survey, and there's not a committee involved. I mean, it's truly an independent research program that evaluates independently, without the influence of committees and sponsors and things like that, are we creating a healthy organization? So exciting to launch, or not launch it, but this will be, it's our sixth year?
Our sixth
or
year.
Seventh year, is it?
Sixth.
Sixth, yeah, 6th year in the program. And just fun stuff there. So the reason why we do it now is because by the time we do the research, by about September, we'll know who are the finalists in that research program, and then they'll come to the November Innovation Summit and be recognized in front of their peers and shouted to the world.
That's right.
How they made this all happen. And the reason we do it this way is by the time it becomes November and the award is acknowledged, they end up with a badge. So Jamin, for example, the #1 company has a 2020 badge at the end of 19.
Right.
So now, that team has 12 months of marketing exposure to bring forward opportunities to tell the world, like, hey, we've created something special here, come be a part of this organization. So it's very important to know that that's one of the reasons that we do it this time of the year, and so we have to close out the program. So it's important you get involved early. The momentum around that conversation is good. Plus, you'll be able to compare that to year-over-year benchmark data, being that we've been doing this for many years.
Right,
So,
and companies receive very detailed reports of that data, so they can see, oh wow, look, we are excelling right here. This is amazing, and this is an area for growth and opportunity. And like you said, they can compare that year after year to see if they're making progress. And
and even companies that don't make the list, right? I mean,
they use the data
continue,
as well.
Even when they don't make they continue to go through the program, because at the end of the day, you have something, and perhaps in the world of data, perhaps maybe the most important data that you might have for your organization. So good stuff there. Get registered. You can go to multifamilyleadership.com and just click on BPW.
There's a tab at the top that says BPW.
And get registered. So looking forward to seeing you guys come in through that program.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about the value segment. So we're talking about the traditional advertising and how it's changing for your business. Now, I've been doing a lot of research on this, given that we have a studio, we're expanding the studio, and we're really trying to help technology introduce to the industry. Right now, it's very hard if you're an innovator, to introduce a product to the industry, right? And so because you have to attend events and travel around the world and meet with customers, it's time consuming, and vendors and management companies don't always have the time to evaluate these things. And so I want to look today back at the traditional way that we've learned about products, even if it's a Super Bowl ad. It's been all about the product. If you think about it, the ads have been all about, from Tide to Crest to look at the blade of Gillette. Just imagine those. It's a razor, and they had like all the graphics and the shave tech that comes together. It's all been about the product, automotive products, right? Horsepower, gears, things like that. And so when you look at the shift that's happening in the world today, going beyond multifamily, things are happening that are more important to the lives and the experiences that these products have for the customer. So if you think of like Dollar Shave Club, right? They had that one viral video that came out and totally disrupted a global company on how you access the product, right? You no longer had to go to the grocery store to get your shave tech, right? Your razor and stuff like that. And so they created a direct-to-consumer approach. And so video was one of the ways that they were able to introduce a model like that. And they did it in a very fun and interesting way. And it had pretty much not a lot to do with the product. It had more about, dealing with the customer. So if you start looking at why influencer marketing works so well today, I mean, the sports teams have been doing those things for years. If you want to sell Nike shoes, put them in, let Michael Jordan wear them. And so all the young athletes coming up through the system want to be like Mike. They basically want to aspire to wear that product. And so when you're thinking about creating your brand, your brand messaging, your store, you've got to think first about your customer, right? So what does your customer want to experience? See, everybody wakes up every day with a current situation, right? They are either pleased with where they are, or they want to have the next level if that's their career. Maybe it's a company and they want more clients, but everybody pretty much wakes up with a current situation. And likely they're probably desiring something bigger and better of their future. They want to save money for something. They want to go to a next level, maybe achieve a goal, or maybe just have more time in their life. But you've got to understand your customer and what those current situations and desired situations are. And then what we're doing, and what you can do too, is you start creating content that starts to knock down obstacles in their life, or pains or frustrations, and gets them on a journey to their next level, right? So if you're creating content, I'm not talking about just going out there and making noise. You think about Apartments.com is doing a $250 million campaign for advertising. Hey, that's great if you've got $250 million. But amplifying is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about creating content that when a consumer or your ideal customer engages with that content, that some way their life improves, right? Maybe you're renting apartments, and instead of talking about your product, right, you're talking about how to actually negotiate a rental agreement, right? So you're adding value. So here's a customer thinking about what they're going through and what they want to do. And now you're creating content around, hey, here's what to look for when finding a place to live, right? Look, beyond the property and all these kinds of things. And so you're adding value. You're not even talking about your product. You're thinking about the journey that customer wants to go on. And so, another example would be, like Ford Motor Companies. You look at car commercials. Go a day without seeing a car commercial, a radio ad, print ad, and you'll see people focused on the traditional model, print. But they're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every month just to get attention. I'm telling you, that's an old model. You don't see the Tesla models. You see people driving Teslas, right? You see that, Elon Musk drove his own car. And so people, entrepreneur space, people always want to be thinking about, hey, I want to have a Tesla, right? It's doing good for the environment. It's a cool car for entrepreneurs, things like that. And so when you think about emotions and information, there, an emotionally unaffected buyer will not buy. Let me give you an example. Look at a Ford commercial next time you see it, or a Jeep. It has the action, the details, and the emotions in these advertisements. But you can talk about an ad like, let's say you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and you've got a local car dealership, and the ad is, we have new F-150s. And the new F-150 is, 4,500 pounds torque, 4x4, it's black, all the details, information, focusing on the product. Well, that's just gonna go right by the consumer. They will be emotionally unaffected by that, right? But when they see the vision of that truck driving up the hill, or maybe they fly open the door and their buddies are throwing the surfboards in the back, jumping in the car, and then they're out on a trail, now they're emotionally engaging the buyer in a journey that perhaps somebody wants to be on, right? And so you have to think about, what are we doing today to do that for our products? Otherwise, you're just throwing money out at advertising, chasing the noise, because with 5G coming, there's going to be more content and more things coming at, viewers are going to be downloading videos faster than ever. You're going to be products. You're going to walk up to displays and they're going to be talking to you. So you have to understand that you've got to get really smart about the messaging, the story, and how to emotionally affect the buyer. So I'm going to read you a few things here. 88% of video marketers have reported that video gives them a positive ROI. Now you'll notice everything about our brand is all about video. We haven't attended one trade show, and we've attracted clients. Pretty much every client that most companies would think to go after when going to a trade show, right? So we've done that because we're creating content. We're improving the lives of organizations as they come in contact with the brand. We're hopefully improving your life in some way here, thinking differently about how maybe you're marketing or advertising. And so it says here that, and I've written this down, I did some research around, and this is just all about like our studios. Prospects are 85% more likely to buy after watching a video. So think about the process by which you introduce products into the world, right? So you have a sales rep, you have some sort of a meeting, a demo, or these types of things. But if you think about the journey that is, it's just that salesperson is hired to go out and develop a relationship, is taking someone to coffee, then it's maybe a dinner at a conference, or maybe then it's a demo for a follow-up, and they're chasing all this. So there's a lot of resources involved in doing that. But the reality is all they're doing is transferring knowledge.
Right.
Hey, I have this product. It can help you in these ways. And it takes multiple touch points.
Right.
And so, HBO with The Sopranos was the binge-worthy. They started the binge-worthy sort of engagement where people are like episodic and you don't need to see the whole movie.
Right.
You're kind of like on a journey and excited about what's next. And so with video, even how we enroll people in the Best Places to Work program, they get the invite, and then they get some information, they get some value, they get some proof about who it's helping, who it's, who's excited about it. And by the time at the end of the thing, we're not converting anybody. We don't sell anybody.
Right.
We're qualifying. So imagine being able to get out in front of your buyer, attract only the buyers you want to actually help and work with, and then repel the ones that you're most likely not going to help because maybe they're not committed to the journey that you want to go on. And by the time that you have a conversation, there's no selling. It's just we already know that we like to live in this property because we've learned all about the area. We know all where the bus stops are. We know how, the activities that are going on. We've seen it all with video. So by the time they come in, it's like, what do you have available? What are the options?
I want to live here. Yeah,
right.
I've already learned everything. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So another note here, 94% of video marketers say that video has helped them increase the understanding of the product or service. And that's kind of what I was touching on. It's like the more complex your product is, okay, the more time it takes to transfer that knowledge. And so if you think about smart home, 5G technologies opening up new things, new ways to work, maybe it's legislative, maybe you're doing something with affordable housing, but if there's complexity, details, compliance, regulatory, security, privacy, multiple departments involved in those decisions, how could you learn about any of that in one trade show meeting, or how could you learn about any of that in one demo meeting? And so I really encourage you, if you have a product to introduce to the world, and it requires more than 3 minutes to explain it because of the tech or the stack of responsibilities, you have to get engaged with video. And we're using that even with we're using it. I mean, research is not something people wake up and say, I need some research today.
I need some data points
I need
today.
some, right? And so the video allowed us to position the value, position that companies that have been through the program have reduced their employee turnover voluntarily by 24%. Now do the math on that and talk about, is this program important, right? So anyway, just video is super important. I'm going to sort of wrap up my notes on that. I would love to learn from you what you're doing with video. And perhaps in the comments, just let us know, is this helpful? Was this, value segment helpful for you? And I'd love to learn, what are your current situations? What are those challenges that you're having? And you can either submit that to our office or in the comments below, but I'd love to learn that. We can bring on experts and hopefully bring some value to you.
Absolutely.
All right. So That was a lot of words. But it was
good
on
words.
video, so I don't have to do it ever again.
That's right. And
That's
people
right.
can watch it at their leisure.
That's right.
That's right. But we're glad you're here. We've got Teresa joining us. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for jumping on here. We have some good news to share today. So let's see what we've got here. We've got Crescent Communities announced the promotion of Daniel Cooper to Senior Vice President of Multifamily and Commercial Construction. So congratulations, Daniel, on that. That's awesome. Daniel will oversee pre-construction and construction operations for both the multifamily and commercial businesses.
That's a fun business.
Yeah, and they've got $2.2 billion under construction and in operations.
Did you say B as in billion?
B as in billions.
That is a lot of dollar bills.
That's a lot. And they have an additional 1.6 planned for 2020 and beyond.
Yeah, it's exciting. Gosh, those give me ideas for property tours. Like what are people building today?
Mm-hmm.
What's the technology going into those buildings? You know,
well, and I think it's interesting that he's overseeing the multifamily and commercial construction. He's
right.
got
You know, we spend a
different-
lot of time in the built world, so we support Shadow Summit. We love what they're doing, and it gives us a fresh perspective of that, what's happening, and I think not only globally, but in this built world, these are the opportunities. I keep going back to the point of, like, you know, we've mentioned automotive a little earlier around my analogies in explaining video, but think about the car you drive and how much that has changed in 30 years, or just go 10 years, 20 years.
right.
And then think about how much time you spend indoors. Like, we're indoors right now. I'm sure you're probably indoors. And if you're not, you're probably walking somewhere to go indoors. Either at work or at home or at the gym or wherever it is. But
Right.
about 90-95% of our day is indoors. And yet the walls, the construction, the way the plans are put together, we're focused on AEC, Architectural Engineering Construction, BIM, Building Information Modeling, those technologies, and we're reaching out with Shadow Summit to really understand those things. But I look at these as opportunities to do some property tours.
Yeah, that would be
I would,
great.
you know, what is Daniel doing in that pre-construction phase now? How is he thinking about the business?
Right.
Daniel, if you're listening, take us on a journey. I would
Give
love
us
to
a
come
call.
see you, or build some stuff in Scottsdale.
Yes.
There's a few cranes around here.
Just a couple.
A
Yeah.
few cranes.
All right, we've also got Harbor Group Management announced the promotion of Mary Marin to Regional Manager. Congratulations, Mary. Mary has over 20 years of experience in multifamily throughout Maryland and Pennsylvania. She has helped facilitate both property acquisitions and dispositions, so well done, Mary.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And you know, that role, that move is a big move. And it's you know, on site and being property manager is it's where the revenue is created. It's the most important part. And I think this regional manager role is, you know, as someone that used to select management companies, and the one thing that I would look for is who are the regional managers and how well can they put people on site and
Right.
build those teams and engage those teams, because ultimately that was where the yields came from, the revenue came from. And so I'm excited to have so much experience in finding, you know, just, you know, getting the opportunity to help others.
Right,
So, good
absolutely.
stuff.
So if you have good news to share, I'm going to plug it again because we love to get your good news. Go to live.multifamilystudios.com, scroll down to the bottom, and just click on Submit News. You can submit photos, videos, press releases, whatever it is you want us to shout out, bring it on.
Yeah, and I noticed Jamin, he's talking about, thank you, the information is very helpful. Would love to see some people that have executed it. So is he raising his hand there?
I think he is.
Does want to do some video? We actually we're doing a show with them, so
Yes.
we need to maybe do some fun stuff there and
Absolutely.
see how it makes impact.
Yeah,
And,
we'll get Jamin
do
on
it.
as a
Yeah,
guest
let's
here
do
as
that.
well. So
Yes. All right. So, look, love that you guys are here with us. I know that we had James over at Stratus on the line earlier. And hey, James, how are you? Thanks for commenting and sharing the feed. If there's anything that you guys want to solve or guests that you'd like to see on the show, again, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
yeah,
Anything else?
that's a wrap for me.
All right. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys in the next show.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.